The fact that Derrick Rose is still here, to me, is a total calamity. I think they blew it by not trading him. I know you have sources in the NBA more than the average Joe. The stories, not from you, but from other reporters, were that Derrick Rose had interest. I don't know if you can confirm or deny that. Other teams wanted him at the deadline last year, and the Pistons would not move him. And I think he should be gone. This is an anti-Derrick Rose thing. Guy had a hell of a year. All the more reason to trade him. Yeah. He's not going to be here when this team reaches whatever goal they seem to have in mind. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Am I crazy to think Troy Weaver's moving this guy like ASAP?
I don't think ASAP. I too think he gets traded this season. If he can be as good as he was last year, which I think he can be, like he had like little nagging injuries last year, nothing uncommon for anybody that's played basketball for so long, like nothing concerning. If he has similar production with nothing catastrophic, I understand like the gamble, like you got to the deadline last year and he was healthy, you should have did it then, just not risking it. I get like why people say that, but I do think maybe the return this year could be bigger than it was last year. And I do think that might be some of the thinking because he is an expiring contract. So by the time the deadline comes, which I think is going to be in March this year, half of his $7 million salary is paid. And if I recall, I think one deal I heard, don't quote me on this, people, like I feel like there wasn't like great offers. Like I feel like maybe the Lakers offered like a second in Alex Caruso. And I guess like, I don't like Alex Caruso's fine for where he is. I'm not, if I can hold on for Derrick Rose for another year and maybe get something better, like I think I would too. Now, if there were a sea of offers and there was like a first round pick, I hadn't heard that. I hadn't heard like a first round pick because I can't imagine that they wouldn't do that, or at least a significant first round pick. I hadn't heard that, and I would assume that was the case, they would do it. Because I do remember Ed saying, and I've heard from people like people were going nuts. Why is Langston Galloway still here after the deadline? Why is Markieff Morris still here after the deadline? I'm like, with all due respect to those guys, two of my favorite guys I've covered, but like, that's the 8th and 9th man on a team that's won 19 games. Like, you think people are picking up the phone to call these two for more than, and it's like Ed was sitting there telling people like there was just not good offers for these guys. And everyone's like, no, that's not true. Like, you see Markieff went to LA and he helped win a ring, and Langston shooting 38 from three. I'm like, and I'm sitting there from talking to people, like I'm telling you guys the same thing. Like, these were the 7th and 8th guys on one of the worst teams in basketball. Like, teams aren't giving up late first round picks for these guys. I don't care what they shot from three. It's just not happening. But to get back to Rose, I would be surprised. I would be surprised if they don't trade him if he puts up similar numbers to this year and at the deadline. Now, what I will say is, and this wouldn't surprise me either. It would shock me a little. I legit think he likes being here. And I legit think I don't know. I don't get the vibe from him that this is a guy that like wants to ring chase. Like, I think he just wants to play basketball. He has family from Detroit. He has connections in the organization. I understand it from a team building and asset accumulation standpoint. Like, that tough talk for me, if somebody's offering a first round pick, like we're going to have that tough talk. But I don't think, if there were deals last year, I don't think there were good enough deals on the table to warrant trading a guy who's happy where he's at. And
yeah, I
don't think the return was big enough.
No one knows. Yeah. I mean, I just knew
from what I heard, nothing was significant that it was a no-brainer.
Oh, before you go to another tab, please like, subscribe, and follow for more clips and highlights. Good? Okay.
See, beautiful. That's a natural at work.